takes until you get to that level 6. But again, now if you're running a Bane Silencer in a lane together, oh god, you're going to have so much trouble. This is really bad right now. So they go for the Spectre too. Oh man, I don't know about this. This could be devastating depending upon how well this play ends up going. Spectre needs to get fat quick, and you need people to keep her alive. I don't know if Earthshaker Bane are going to be able to do that solo. They need to get those wards out there quickly. I'm expecting quick TPs to the lane out of Bane and Earthshaker to make sure that this all happens the way that it needs to. So early advantage, I would say a little bit more towards Cloud9 with the draft, but that being said, there's this sort of tipping point with Root Gaming where if you're able to hold out long enough for that Spectre to get the Radiance, there's always the chance to come back. I'm also going to mention here as well that, I don't know, I actually don't have a ton of games on MSS that he's played Broodmother, but still a very effective offlane player nonetheless. Looking good. Very curious to see how this rest of this draft ends up going. Let me switch on over the overlay to make sure that everybody doesn't pull out their hair in alarm and fear and anger at the things that are going to come. So let's get started with this one. Starting off right at the beginning, we have Stan King here who's going to be playing on the Bane for Root. G-Easy Explicit is going to be playing the Spectre. We do also have Derp Derp on the Silencer. Kahura is going to be playing the Queen of Pain. And last but not least, off to the side, Schwan is going to be playing that Earthshaker. And he is going to be going for the offlane. Okay, so now you're running into a situation where MSS is going to be a Broodmother up against the Spectre Bane. This looks petrifying. Let's do a quick little introduction for Cloud9 though. We do have 1437 who's going to be playing that Slardar. Meanwhile, MSS on the Broodmother, as I mentioned, with SVG playing the Tusk. Down in the bottom lane and going towards mid is going to be Brax on the Lina. And last but not least, Ritsu is going to be playing that Ember Spirit. Making sure that everything looks absolutely wonderful. All right, great, great, great. I'm sort of petrified and a little bit scared after what ended up happening in the last series of broadcasts where I left the draft overlay up forever. But not going to happen this time, guys. Don't worry. As soon as the horn ends up getting called, we do get a pause now out of the Slardar. Not wanting to run on into any heroes here. It looks like they might be able to secure this rune now for the Queen of Pain in that mid lane. Oh, apparently people are in their team speak. Interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Get the heck on out of here. Yeah, Silencer just going to be playing in that support role. I'm curious if he's going to rotate on down to this bottom lane. There is a chance that he could. It would be a little bit strange, but not the weirdest thing in the world. So let's see. Queen of Pain heading on over now. Does have the salve up as well. And moving up towards this top lane. I'm really concerned about how well the Spectre is going to be able to do. It's almost to the point where you're going to need to take multiple levels of dispersion to be able to deal with those spiderlings. And even if you do get that, like, she has the stout shield, she's going to need to get that upgraded to a poor man's shield very soon and really try her best to be able to soak up that damage. Like with the changes to dispersion and the fact that it's going to be affected before damage block, it's decent, but it's still like this might even force you into getting a Vanguard just to stay alive in this lane, but it kind of goes against what the draft is needing to do. And with 3 heroes here as well, they think that this is just going to be the Broodmother. This could be really devastating if they do end up catching this. Slardar Snowballs is going to be there with the Tusk. Now we also have another catch with the Crush coming out from 1437. Yeah, another couple right clicks, and they are going to be able to get the first blood. Broodmother picks that one up, taking out MSS. Oh man, very frustrating start. And this is, I mean, it's difficult enough with just the Broodmother there, but if you're running an offensive tri-lane against this is going to be devastating over and over again. I don't think that, like, the one little piece of niceness that you have is that Brood isn't going to be getting as many levels as you might see otherwise. So, I don't know, we will see. Very interesting. Oh, shop glitch, not what you want to have happen. So he's going to disconnect, make sure that he is able to get back on into this game. Absolutely great. Mid lane, the matchup, Queen of Pain up against the Lina, something that we've seen time and time again. And a matchup that can really go either ways. I feel like it's one of those ones where you can sort of, I don't know, you're able to outplay each other both ways across the board, because if Lena is able to position herself correctly, you're going to be able to get a nice Dragon Slave out on top of somebody while simultaneously getting a last hit. Likewise, if you overextend a little bit too much with the Lena, you're going to get hit by the dagger and burn through your regen. So either way you end up looking at it, it's kind of difficult. All right, mid lane. Yeah, just going to be salving on up. As far as the regen wars go, it does look like the Queen of Pain had to burn through her salve first, and Brack's hoping to wait until that dagger damage ends up wearing off before he pops his. And there it is, absolutely no problem, dodging the Dragon Slave, and positional wars abound. That's just what we're going to be seeing here. As far as this other bottom lane, we haven't talked about a ton. Chuan up against Ritu. It's really going to come down to what this skill build ends up being out of the Earthshaker. He has gone 1-1-1 at the start. Oh, might end up getting caught here if he's not careful. Does lay out another fissure, another couple of right clicks. And he's able to burn through that flame guard. As this gets leveled up, though, like the key thing, well, it's 2 levels right now. He's still able to burn through it. So maybe kind of a decent spot right now with the Aftershock, as well as being able to lay out some of that nuke damage with the fissure. It's all looking kind of good. Very nice rune control up here in the top as well by the Tusk as well as the Slardar. Everything looking great. But again, you just compare the 2 safe lanes right now, and the 5-1 versus the 12-1. Oh god. No. That's a little bit of a problem. Sorry about the frame rate. Let me see if I can change this over. I might need to reconnect after this one, but there's been some problems with the servers going on, and I'm not sure exactly how to solve it. Right, MSS jumping away again. Sorry if it's a little bit shaky. Illusion Rune popped up by the Ember Spirit. He's going to back on out yet again. MSS continuing to hit away here. Has been able to pick on up his Soul Ring. And Sand King trying to see if he can find any initiation angle. The ward of the Sentry Wards has been going a little bit more into the favor of the Brood, considering she hasn't really been found out quite yet. Bottom lane maybe going to be able to catch over here again. There is a Snowball coming in. That's going to be able to take on down the Spectre in just a second, I do believe. Doesn't have any points in the Desolate. Is going to be actually fine here. Doesn't have that 1 point in the Desolate, no points in the Dispersion is what I should say. No. And now Ember Spirit looked like he wanted to go on the Earthshaker, but is just going to be fine for now. 15-2 to the 14-5. And after the attempted gank isn't going to be able to be there. Alright, underneath tower. We're looking okay. Let's take a look at net worth. Cloud9 has been able to be a little bit more effective just based upon their last hits and denies, being able to come on over and contest the pulls as well. Looks pretty good there. Ooh, hits on the stun now. Haru needs to be careful. Another Dragon Slave in second is going to be able to potentially kill. Is it going to be able to be enough? No! Ends up falling. One last right click from the Queen of Pain. And that is going to be a kill. Oh, that is huge right now. Able to turn that back around. 2 bottles as well coming out on the courier. Oh, jump in on the Snowball. Is going to be able to stay alive. The bottling up after the fact. Looks like Slardar wants to go for this one. Might have overstayed his welcome. And it looks like he is going to be able to just make his way out of here. The Earthshaker in the area, though. Double damage rune. Chuan wants it bad. He does have another fissure. Is going to lay it out there. Is going to have enough also for an enchant totem. Jump forward. Queen of Pain is going to secure that kill. And suddenly, just like that, Root Gaming bringing it on back with the early aggression coming on out. Off lane, Earthshaker getting those max points in the Aftershock also to burn through those flame guards. Definitely came into effect in that last engagement. Very nicely done there. Getting a couple of little denies off as well. Always good to see that one. Sean does end up hitting by the charge yet again. Is able to dodge the stun coming out from the Slardar. Very nicely done. The rotation wasn't going to be able to be enough, and Bane TPing in was going to make sure that he was fine as well. So net worth at the end of those couple of kills, 2,500 on the Queen of Pain, as well as 2,000 on this Ember Spirit. Has been able to get what he wants. Again, that Spectre just coming out in the rear. If you're able to sort of stay, I think, relatively even, I think it's okay here. The dispersion levels, oh god, it's so difficult. I really feel like you need more dispersion to stay alive in this lane. It's going to be very difficult, particularly with the very much single targeted focus. So the key thing in this lane, as we get a charge in bot, they're going to be able to, oh my god, just turn around and kill the Slardar, why don't you? Jumping in is going to be the Spectre, 2 levels in Desolate. Apparently I was wrong about that. Might be able to get a kill on this Ember Spirit if they are able to burst him down. Does get it. Queen of Pain with the last hit, and the rotations coming out from Root Gaming. I said that they were struggling to, not struggling, but looking to try and find their identity, are looking to cover each other now in this game, and very, very good. Well done. Well, Tusk now hanging out in the trees, wanting to see if he can find somebody. Derp is behind tower, and with the other ward, they're going to make sure that they're able to find this this Bane as well. So they recognize that there's several heroes here. Are they honestly going to dive this? This seems very bold if they do opt for it. And yeah, they're going to back on out. With 3 heroes mid, like, I don't understand why there's 3 heroes mid completely. It makes a little bit of sense, but just to be able to cover the rest of your team. They are going to rotate now. Schwan coming off to the side is going to be able to get with the multiple levels in the Aftershock as well as Echo Slam now. This is so smart. They're rotating the lanes, and now the Spectre is going to be able to move on over and take on over the bottom lane. I really, really like this. This is great. Because, like, basically now what you're going to be able to see is sort of consistently the Earthshaker, well, unless you get charged on in by the Slardar. Doesn't hit the Crush, though. Now also SVG stuck up in the woods, not where he wants to be at all. Fissure does end up connecting. We have another enchant, doesn't hit with the Aftershock proc. Oh, and again, just playing so safe underneath here. The rest of his team actually only have 1 TP up on the Queen of Pain. The Spectre doesn't have one either, but the Bane does. So if they do dive under tower here, Bane can potentially Nightmare the Earthshaker, keep him alive long enough to ensure that he's able to get off his Echo Slam if all the spiders go underneath him. But I don't know, very sorry about that as well. Here we go. Audio. So sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody that was listening out on Dota TV, still getting everything all set up. But Ritu, again, consistently farming away. There's a reason that this guy is 10-2 on this hero. He's very, very potent in terms of being able to make plays in the late game, or in the mid game, and also into the late game as well. Just waiting for 1 Sentry Ward to get dropped over here, and you're going to be able to find the spider, and 1 Echo Slam. That's going to be a whole lot of gold going Schwan's way. I think this was such a great play. Like, normally when you end up seeing the Earthshaker, he has some trouble dealing with it in the early lane, but being able to switch on out the Spectre now, it does mean that she's a little bit more vulnerable, but again, you've got Haunt to be able to get your way out of there as well as the dagger, so they're going to come and try and see if they can find some sort of initiation. With no blink up on this Slardar, though, for the foreseeable future, they're really not going to be able to punish this, I don't think. So Root Gaming have been playing this exceptionally well. Queen of Pain is also going to be top of the net worth. Does look to pick on up her treads now. And just going to be sitting pretty and comfortable. Bassi being brought out to that Ember Spirit. Schwan continuing to last it under tower here and get the last hits with the Aftershock proc as well. Oh, so swaggerific. Now, the Brute is going to be able to start taking the jungle and building towards these items. Once you end up getting an Orchid potentially on her, if that is the item that she wants to go, this becomes a lot easier to dive the Earthshaker under tower. But I don't think... Part of me feels like that's not what she's going to go for. Oh my god, I'm so sorry about that. Queen of Pain ends up getting the kill on the Tusk. Meanwhile, 1 more right click is going to be able to turn that one back around and take her out in return. The Haunt was coming in to see if she could potentially take out Brax, but not going to be able to happen. And just like that, the Queen of Pain is able to make such a huge play. Like, getting those kills are imperative for her acceleration. The fact that Lean was able to turn that back around, really, really big. Also worth noting, MSS is having his Hand of Midas being brought back out to him. So he is looking to take this game a little bit longer term, at least, and maybe be able to get a couple of really key items that will end up affecting him in the mid game. And, you know, it's a couple of minutes before the Midas is going to end up really coming into play. But Sand King here doesn't have his ulti, but does have a lot of damage that can't come around. There's the Queen of Pain rotating in. Another couple of right clicks might be able to be enough. The Brain Sap from afar is going to be able to get that one. Nicely done there. And meanwhile, Ember Spirit looking for blood. If I recap, 500 gold swing. He is going to remnant forward, wants to chase this if he can. He's looking for killing Derp. One more time, this is going to be able to be enough. And meanwhile, the Spectre rotating in as well. Brax is in the area, and it looks like we are going to see Ritsu get away from that one. That's the power of this hero. Like, you think about it, and the fact that right now he only has a pillow. Very nice jump there by the Queen of Pain. I was about to praise him, but ended up getting a little bit too far forward. Again, diving on up here. The Earthshaker not to be seen. He did end up rotating, and as soon as he leaves that lane, that's going to make all the difference, and this tower is going to fall. Now all of a sudden you're going to have MSS be able to really punish the rest of this jungle. I think that Root are okay with this, though. You know, Spectre's still getting farm. Does have the Wraith Band up now as well. She's not as high up as she would really want to be, and is continuing to be contested. The fact that she's had to move around for these kills and not really bear fruit with them, she's only gotten the 2 assists, does mean that her farm is a little bit more stunted than you would want. 47 last hits at 11 minutes isn't the best in the world. It's not the worst either, but certainly not the best. Alright, and as we get back on into this one, oh god, here we go. Sand King mid lane. Earthshaker did pick up his Tranquils now, so he just wants to be able to sustain in lane longer against this Brood. He's really their only hope for being able to deal with this until you end up getting something like a, you know, dust on top of the Brood with a Fiend Script coming in behind that area. But even that, honestly, if you're running into that with all those spiders on top of you, it's really quite devastating. We'll also mention Lina now having the Yules up. She's going to be able to start making that combo work, and maxed out Dragon Slave, maxed out Light Strike Array, level 2 Laguna Blade. This is the point right now where Brax can really make his presence felt, and these types of heroes across the board, you've got Broodmother who can jump on top of you in an instant, you got Ember Spirit who's able to dole out a ton of magical damage. It looks like they want to potentially fight this one. There's the Remnant on in, isn't going to be able to catch, unfortunately. Was looking for the Sleight of Fists. Oh, he doesn't even have Sleight of Fists. He went for the chains but didn't quite catch it. So no points in Sleight of Fist now for Ritsu, just opting to go for more in terms of that initial damage burst. So this obviously means that his catch potential is going to be a little bit limited, but when he does end up finding you with those remnants, it's going to be dealing significantly more damage. Alright, 4 hero rotation down into the jungle now. Want to see if they can potentially find this Slardar and get a kill. The Crush does end up connecting, but there's a jump forward. Queen of Pain is there as well. The sprint is going to mean he's getting that extra bonus damage. One more right click should be enough with the last word, and that is a kill on the Slardar, continuing to hurt his ability to get that Blink Dagger that he really wants. Does have Tranquils as well, a little bit different. Chuan up in the top lane now. The Broodmother still keeping a lot of gold in the bank. She's really been able to take on over this jungle and start to build up the Fort Knox gold supply. Tusk, level 4. Doesn't have that burst quite yet, but does obviously have the long-range initiation. There's the little TP away as he waves goodbye to us. Heads on down to the bottom lane. Still waiting for level 6 on this Bane. And Chuan as well, hoping to be able to get a little bit more gold to build towards that Blink Dagger. Honton out. Are they going to be able to find anybody here? Looks like we're just going to be able to keep it content for now. Queen of Pain does end up getting a kill on the Tusk. Meanwhile, the Laguna Blade turnaround, able to take down that Spectre. So back and forth we go. Do they have enough to burst down this? Oh, they might actually for this Slardar. He does fall. At the end of the day, you do see the Tusk go down. The Queen of Pain, and then eventually the Spectre does fall as well. So fight recap. Nice little win for Root Gaming yet again. They've really been able to get off to a pretty great start here. 4,000 net worth, EXP lead of roughly 3,000 as well. They've been in a pretty comfortable position all game long, and I think that, you know, the early start of the last Hit Wars you saw, the Cloud9 is obviously still in the lead there, but it's through these kills, the rotations, the teamwork essentially. All Fiend Script now down on top of the Ember Spirit. If Spec can get this kill, this would be huge. I don't think that she quite has the damage though. Global Silence going to follow it up, and Ember is just going to walk away from that one. So committing a Fiend Script there, would have loved to be able to get a little bit more damage out from that, but unfortunately not able to find it. Oh, Queen of Pain jumping again. Sonic Wave ends up connecting. Oh god, if the dagger would have been there, it would have been enough. Unfortunately, not able to level that out against the Ember Spirit, and he gets away just by the skin of his teeth. And now 2 big ultis committed for that hero and weren't able to find it. Very, very frustrating. And it does look like the Quap is actually going to be going for the Orchid. You know, I mentioned in the draft that I felt like there was a chance she wouldn't have to. I am a little bit concerned now, because as this game goes longer, you would expect that hopefully Spectre would be able to really take over and get that Radiance, increase the farm levels, make a huge impact in that late game. But now one of your really core heroes is going to have a big impact in the mid game, but once you start getting to the later stages, that Orchid is suddenly a bit of dead weight. I guess you can turn it around and hit it onto the Tusk, which is pretty big, but I don't know. We will see. Time will tell. No tally on the ground, and Brack's going to be working towards that Aghanim Scepter. His farm has been really, really impressive. Lina, 8,300. Broodmother, 7,300. Just continuing to tear apart this lane, and looks like we're going to be seeing another Orchid here. This time around for the Radiant side. They do want to reveal this Blink Dagger up by Chuan now, waiting for their moment. Dust does end up getting popped. There's the Echo Slam of Dries. Oh, MSS, it wasn't meant to be. Oh, that's why you pick Earthshaker, ladies and gentlemen. Put him in the off lane and just go to town on that Broodmother once you come around. And, oh, man, just like that. Huge gold swing. And the guy who just finished off his Blink Dagger now also has 850 gold on top of it. Absolutely beautiful. There's the jump forward by the Earthshaker. Wasn't quite able to get his stun off, unfortunately. And while this is going on, it looks like we're going to get a push down in the bottom lane. Queen of Pain gets her own Orchid. Slardar just going to back on out. Looks like Tusk is here as well, though. He does have a Yule's Scepter if they wanted to reinitiate into this, but going to leave Derp alone for now. As he and Chuan just make their way on back to base. Global Silence is up. Haunt is down. I think that they're probably going to just have to save Global until the next time they want to jump on in here. The Orchid does come down on top of MSS. This is disastrous. He's going to go down yet again. So 2 quick kills in succession on top of this Broodmother. And suddenly this hero that was getting free farm in the jungle is starting to get taken out. Root looking very strong, I have to say. I was not expecting this explosive of a performance from them, but the plays have been really good in terms of consistently finding the kills that they've needed to. And, I mean, you take a look at the vision to a certain extent, and you would expect that there would be a really clear advantage in this jungle over here because of the Broodmother, but they really have been able to shut that down and playing somewhat in the dark. Chuan does have... Oh, excuse me. All right, there we go. That's kind of what you need. Silencer pushing forward a little bit too far and did end up going down there to the Lina. Just a simple little combo. Did she actually even Laguna Blade? Yeah, okay, yeah, she did. She did her whole combo there. Oh, was looking for the initiation. Is going to be able to find the Ember now. Crush does end up connecting. Do we have another stun in a second? Is going to hit. No, but the Brain Sap is going to be enough regardless. There is the Spectre Haunt coming on in. Sonic Wave on top of 2. Tusk is going to end up falling as well. Queen of Pain with the double kill. Thought about going back in is MSS, but not going to be able to find it. Aghanim Scepter just now finished off. Fight recap, 1,700 gold change as well as 1,800 EXP. Just catching the end of that one, it looked for a second there like Ember might have been able to make it happen, but with no remnants out, he needed to sleight a fist away the stun and then afterwards be able to make his way out of there, and just wasn't able to happen. Too much damage coming out with the Spectre Haunt coming out. And now, after picking up 4 urn charges, Spectre being a part of 7 kills, only dying once, this is where the farm might start taking off a little bit more. Still behind the Ember Spirit, but sort of that ticking time bomb of the Radiance, where all of a sudden all of your skills, all of your hopes and dreams sort of crumble before your eyes. Brax is definitely going to need to make his presence felt here. Ritsu so far has been somewhat disabled to a large extent in this game. Mainly, I think, just by really solid play by Root. I think that the key thing here has been really effective communication, a clear game plan going in, knowing what they wanted to do and how to deal with that Broodmother, which is surprising considering it was the last pick. Of course, this can all turn around in an instant. It all really comes back to, again, being able to find that one key pick off and then take some objectives after it. They have no slouches in terms of being able to take objectives, and also can probably very quickly take down Roshan. So time will tell as far as what we're going to see here. Bane, Arcane Boots did get the mana buff, but it doesn't mean that mana's free. Queen of Pain going for the BKB next as well. We do have for the Spectre, of course, saving for that relic. Earthshaker working on a Force Staff himself. We have Tusk. They're going to end up breaking the smoke here. He's off to the side. Echo Slam connects on MSS. There's the Haunt. Fiend's Grip as well. He does end up falling after the snowball. Now SVG is nightmared on up yet again. Do we have enough to be able to catch him? The spiders were not killed there, so they're still in the middle of all of it, tearing my frame rate apart. And it looks like Ember is going to end up getting away from that one. So sorry about these issues. I swear I'm going to try and clear it up in the next game. But it looks like Chuan is going to be able to chase after and burn through a couple of those spiders. So nicely done there. And fight recap again. Another key team fight taken by Root. 6-17 is this gameplay. And I feel like Chuan here has really been the man who's been able to make it happen. To a certain extent as well also, it's the hero choice, you know, it's the fact that they had this clear game plan going into it, which I'll talk about until the end of time. Lina, Aghanim, Scepter need to find a pick off here. If you're able to kill a Spectre, that is what you want to do. That is the play, that is the move, that is the groove. Everything needs to be going from there. Oh, does end up connecting with the Earthshaker Fissure. Is it going to be able to be enough? Oh, nice Yules before the stun comes out. I think he might still be in a little bit of trouble. Force taps the Spect forward again, and it looks like Brax is going to end up falling. Silencer with the last hit. Bottom lane not able to convert on any of these other kills. Queen of Pain is hanging around, though. That was a nice little 1200 gold swing. Doesn't end up catching the snowball, but the blink away last second. Very nicely done. Might have overstayed his welcome. Thought about re-engaging, but after the shards is dropped, they're going to leave it alone for now. Again, Spectre doing Spectre things. Tusk now. The smoke is up on him. While the kill was happening up there, they weren't really able to make a ton happen in the bottom lane. Chuan TPing down here is going to make sure that that's the case. Let's take a look at this Ember, what he's been able to go towards. He's still trying to build towards that Battle Fury. It's going to help out his farm a lot. It's really the only chance that they have right now is to be able to get this Ember Spirit farmed on up and make sure that he's able to scale well into the late game. The question is it going to be enough? And is this Orchid going to be his demise regardless? It's going to require a ton of really solid play by this guy. And also the rest of his team being able to cover him. Brood making space around the map. All of these things need to come together for this to be able to get turned around. Net worth lead. Cloud9, where they were in the advantage, are going to be dropping now. 1,000. I can't believe they're actually that far ahead. Net worth-wise. Oh, we have a little bit of a haunt coming on in now. Where are you at, Spec? Back in base. All right, there's the jump forward. Are going to be able to catch on MSS. He's going to be able to Echo Slam for victory. Oh, Schwan, everywhere you need to be all at once. And at the end of the day, looking very good. Spec needs to be careful right here. If they're able to find and catch here, this is actually the moment that they really need. Blink Dagger up on Slardar. Oh, dodging the stun is going to be able to go on into the trees. Global Silence coming out. Not going to be able to catch. Again, just running away. Oh, hide and seek. Is there anybody any better? That's the real question. Goodness gracious. The smoke on up in the bottom lane, see if they're going to be able to find somebody there. As I mentioned, BKB up on the Queen of Pain, no longer going to be afraid of all of that magical damage coming on out. Or the Orchid from the Broodmother. Derp derp, working on the mechanism. Schwan thought about finding a Brood there, and this is what they need to be doing right now. You end up being able to find this Roshan, maybe take it, burst it down, find a pick off, take a barracks, take the top lane. You can probably do it, or at least just being able to split push it out. And the fact that they were able to smoke on in there and get that one is absolutely huge. They really need this for the rest of the game to keep on going good. Well, Spectre, as I mentioned, doing Spectre things. It's almost worth it for them, though, honestly. Like, they don't necessarily need to push right now. The only thing that could really go bad with this is if Cloud9 are able to pressure down a key objective after this Roshan. If you can keep the lanes pushed on out as Root, I think that you're still fine. Queen of Pain maybe baiting now. Oh god, he is. Chuan is going to come on in and tear you apart, Lina. Laguna Blade does come quickly. They're not able to disengage from it, though. Too much burst damage too quickly. And now blinking or TPing away is going to be that Bane. That's the start. That's how you need it to happen. 1900 EXP off the back of that, as well as 1300 EXP. 200 gold, I mean. Excuse me. Ember Spirit now getting closer and closer to this Battle Fury. And will that make the difference? It's the real question. Stand King, Cloak, Earthshaker, Force, and everything else. He's getting ready with the Enchant Totem. They're going to go back in and deny this one in a second, I do believe. Broodmother's waiting for the opportunity. If you catch the Broodmother here, that really severely hampers the ability to get any split push done. And there it is. Radiant's finished. Spec with Haunt as well. They're ready to go. Lina farming on out the jungle. If they get into a good position now, you've got so much damage that can come out very quickly. Your Spirit's still sitting comfortably and just now finished his Battle Fury. Alright, so he's ready for a bit more of a fight. Honestly, I don't think he is, actually. If you think about what the items are that the Dire have at this point, that's really not capable of dealing with this. I mean, you got the Mechanism up on the Silencer, Radiance is up on the Spec, Earthshaker has everything that he needs, but the key thing right here as well is the BKB on the Queen of Pain as well as the Orchid. She's just going to be able to tear apart that Ember Spirit if he's not careful. So they need to initiate onto the Quap. But again, if you initiate onto the Quap, she just pops BKB. Oh, God, this is going to be very difficult. Maybe if they're able to burst her down very quickly. Stun does come out. There's the Haunt in the middle of all of it, though. We do get the burst on top of the Queen of Pain. The turnaround, though, Echo Slam. Everybody's getting torn apart. Brax is going to fall to the Fiend's Grip. The Aegis is still up, though. Do they have enough to take down MSS? That's the real question. 3 heroes dead if you include the Aegis. Maybe Bane's going to end up going down now to Brax. The Earthshaker stun does connect at the very end. Laguna Blade's going to be enough to kill the Bane, though. And end tally, Aegis for 3 heroes. Spectre still alive and kicking. Does have the first component of what is I'm supposing to be a Yasha. 1100 gold swing into the favor of Cloud9. And with Haunt down, maybe this is their moment. Oh my God, the Spider's taking a lot of damage from that dagger. Lina's just going to be comfortable continuing to hit away here. 3 stacks up on the Fiery Soul. What intuition. Brax, recognizing the inherent danger of his situation, does blink away last second. So this is the initiation that they want. Are going to be able to get a last word down on top of the Tusk. He's going to end up getting hit there as well. Is maybe going to die. Fissure ends up connecting. Brax is separated from the herd. They do have Global. Don't want to burn it here if they don't have to. Doesn't catch on the Aftershock proc, but I think with this Radiance burn, this is going to be a dead Brax in just a second or two. One more time, again, Spectral Dagger, click. That's a dead Lina. So what looked to be pretty good for them starting to turn back around now. That was a pretty big exchange into the favor of Root. Broodmother bottom lane, going to hope to do a few things here. You're getting pretty farmed up on the Broodmother, but Tier 1 tower is going to start to fall. I would love to see the Spectre move on into the jungle and just try and farm up right now, because he still is behind. And you take a look at the net worth. Currently, it is 11,000 on the Spect versus the 13 on the Lina. They do have some inkling that MSS is over here. End up catching with the Stream of Pain. Just a little, hey, how you doing? And then walking away from it. Does drop down the Sentry Ward as well. Hunting MSS on this Brood. Oh, this is a problem. The Orchid ends up connecting. Do they have enough to be able to get here in time? No. The Brood ends up taking a kill away, and that's the danger right now. Really need to get something like a Ghost Scepter up on this Bane. He already has the Cloak, so that's going to help at least in terms of being able to survive through the Spawn Spiderlings nuke that comes out. But I don't know if Glimmer Cape is necessarily the item either. I guess they don't have any reveal, so it's kind of okay. Yeah, it looks like that's what he is going to go instead. Probably a little bit better, and it fits more circumstances later. Queen of Pain does end up burning through her first BKB. They're not going to be able to find her. So I think that that's worth it. 10-second BKB charge to make sure you don't end up getting ganked. Definitely sucks that you had to use it there, but the alternative is really death. Oh, not quite able to get those stuns perfectly in combination together. Is going to Haunt now. On top of the Ember Spirit. Oh, this is the danger. No mana either, and he is going to fall. Huge kill. Spectre ends up taking that one. 709 gold going her way. Oh, man. 24-11 right now. Huge turnaround. But Cloud9 still farming significantly better. I think that the big problem that you're seeing here is that while Cloud9 are definitely farming and they're moving around the map more effectively, they can't really win fights. So they're taking towers, they're making sure that they're taking the different objectives that they want, Roshan as well, but eventually Root, I feel like, are going to be in a position where they're just going to be able to death ball down mid. They just, I guess Cloud9, if they don't lose all of their heroes at once, maybe they're going to be able to consistently rat away Root here. It's tough to tell, though. That would be a terrible way to lose. God, I would hate that. Schwann, Blink Dagger, Gem, everything else that a little Earthshaker could want. An MSS with these trees down might be getting caught out if he's not careful. And this is exactly what Spectre needs to do. You move on in, you get the Yasha, you get yourself comfortable, you start piling up a few more items. I have seen a few specs go Sange and Yasha, which I don't really like, but I can understand the desire for it. I think that like Yasha maybe into Heart, but it kind of would be good also. Like being able to stay alive is going to be really important for the spec. But I kind of feel like Manta would be pretty solid as well, particularly against that Brood with the Orchid up. I mean, I don't think that really you're going to be able to kill Spec at this point unless you get the Silence down. And if she's able to get the Haunt out, unless you're 5-man ganking, it's not really going to be super effective. Did look like Slaughter there as well as the Lina were moving on over. I guess the other flip side of that, though, is that if you get a Heart, you're going to be able to survive through the stuns. Queen of Pain ends up getting another kill on this Broodmother, thanks to the very nice Gem of True Sight up here. It's just they've had every answer that they've needed all game long, and there is the Manta picked up. So another dagger going through. This is on top of the Slardar. A little bit frustrated. Oh, Fissure ends up connecting. There's the Haunt as well. Lots of magical damage coming out on top of these heroes. The shards are back. This is going to be Spectre end up initiating onto the Slardar if you're able to catch it. It looks like they might end up sending the Earthshaker up to the top lane. All right, not wanting to contest this one too much further. They're going to back on out and Cloud9 lick their wounds and make their way out of here before they end up getting picked off yet again. 2,500 gold on this Earthshaker. It might be Octarine time. Spectre again, Manta style illusions, just going to send them forward, keep these waves pushed out. I think that's the other thing that I didn't mention earlier is the Spectre illusions are also really great for being able to make sure you're pushing on out those lanes, which is something that you need to be able to do against the Rat Dota. 1,400 gold now up on this Lina. Well, Slardar blinking back. Should be fine. BKB is probably going to be the next item up on him. And as I mentioned, the Ember Spirit now, with the Manta style, this negates a little bit the Queen of Pain's Orchid to a large extent. And this item really pretty much is just going to be a team fight item now. It can't really be used a ton for pickoffs unless you're finding somebody other than the Ember Spirit. And the Lina as well. The Lina has the Eul Scepter, so another hero that's going to be able to sort of deal with that somewhat effectively. Do we have anybody else right now? Looks like the Brood might be going for BKB next, as is the Slardar. So really it's only going to be effective against the Tusk pretty soon. That's what I was talking about, is maybe as this game goes later, the Queen of Pain, while you are having the Spectre, dole out a lot more damage. Oh god, this could be tough. He does have the Manta though, so yeah, he's going to always be able to Remnant back. This is the thing that's a little bit tough though, is that while your spec does scale really, really well, you have an item that's sort of invested in this Queen of Pain that's becoming more or less useless. So she really needs to get something else, and actually should have something on the courier here in just a second. Mystic Staff coming out. Very interesting. Maybe into a Shiva's Guard. That'd be pretty good against the Brood Spiders. I like that idea potentially. I wouldn't have minded an Aghanim Scepter also, just to make sure that those waves are continuously cleared out. Yeah, that is going to be a Shiva's Guard, okay. Against this minus armor, it makes a lot of sense. And it's not all minus armor, but, you know, it's a bit of a problem. I like Ember Spear might be going for another little bit of a BKB here as well. So very defensive items right now out of Cloud9. They don't have a ton of damage, so just going to try and keep them off of their towers as long as possible. Maybe keep the next Aegis as well. If they're able to take the next Aegis, that's pretty huge. Oh, Tusk is going to end up getting the snowball off. None of those stuns end up connecting. Chuan now. It's going to be the one that's in the middle of all of this. Walrus Punch down on top of him, but SVG is going to die here. Queen of Pain ends up getting that kill, activating the Bounty Rune at the end for good measure. Happy as a clam. That's what I got to say about that one. Mother yet again, just pretty comfortable to be sitting on the big lead that she's been able to get. And again, you know, you get this Midas up on this Broodmother. They've been able to stay with this one. It shows the power of Cloud9 and their ability to, you know, consistently farmed find that despite the fact that they're down 15 kills. It's very impressive. Ooh, thought about it. Has a chance. They are going to end up using the ulti here. Brax gets hit by the fissure. Nice blink as Force Staff by the Earthshaker. Now he's going to have another chance to be able to catch this one. BKB does end up getting popped. Laguna Blade, the turnaround. Oh, but the Fiend's Grip is too good. Now Slardar wants to be able to get this one. Is going to burn last second. And the Chuan jump forward with the Enchant Totem is going to be enough to get that kill. TP's away before the Tusk comes back in. Is going to toss on out another Ice Shards, blocking off the retreat, but it looks like Root might be comfortable going for this one now. It's going to call it good at this point in time. 1,600 gold swing, 3,300 EXP. And the end result, nobody dead for Root and 2 taken down, the Slardar and the Lina for Cloud9. And now ready to move on in here and take on down the big bad Roshan. Let's see how they're able to make it happen. Looks like Earthshaker might even be going for an AC here. Is that honestly what he's going to be going for? Not exactly sure. Certainly lots of options, but with the Shiva's Guard already up on the Queen of Pain, that doesn't seem entirely likely. Maybe I'm missing something here. Oh, you know what? I bet it's a Lotus Orb. That would make sense. Could definitely make sense. Alright. BKB now up on the Broodmother. They recognize that this is going on now. We do have, oh god, the Nightmare down. This is going to be a Fiend's Grip in a second as well. Tusk is going to get caught out. They don't even need to use the Fiend's Grip. Yeah, it's not up. He's just dead. Aegis now up on the Spectre, jumping forward. They are going to be able to get the silence off on the Ember Spirit, but after the fact, man, Style Illusion away. He's going to be able to walk away from that one fine. And emboldened by their recent win in the Roche Pit, it looks like Root Gaming might be ready to take this one. Looking in a strong position to be winning Game 1 of this series. Best of 3, as I mentioned, this is the upper bracket. So the loser of this series is not knocked out, but does have to go down to the lower bracket to face what I believe is Pain Gaming, the winner of Pain Gaming and Elite Wolves. And this is the part where Spec starts to become really scary. Manta Style, as well as Diffusal Blade. Amp damage down on top of the Quap. We do have the Remnant up on the high ground as well. He's going to end up going on back to base, though, after the first Remnant is dropped. They ping it on out, thinking that he might still be there, but he is not. Brax ends up hitting with the Late Strike Ray on top of the Queen of Pain. Nice Force Staff. Going to be able to get that Spectre on out of there. Well done by the Earthshaker. Keeping his buddy alive. Not wanting to let this game get out of hand. And again, the problem that you might end up seeing is Cloud9 can turn this back around in just a second. They're very, very comfortable being able to take a fight now, I think. As long as they get the initiation, jump forward, is able to catch onto the Bane. This is not the person that you want to end up getting onto immediately. Sonic Wave down as well. The Spec did get the tower and finally going to start tearing these people apart. Slardar falls. Queen of Pain able to take down the Tusk. BKB is up on MSS as well. It does look like Spec's going to be perfectly fine throughout all of this, though. Echo Slam on the back lanes, able to hit onto the Ember Spirit. He's going to end up falling. I believe Silence is going to take him down. The Aegis is popped, but to what end? No hero has still died at this point in time for Root Gaming. 4 dead, meanwhile, for Cloud9, and it looks like they're going to be ready to take high ground here. A huge gold swing, and it felt like it was inevitable to a certain point. Lotus Orb now down on top of the Silencer as well. So much farm on these heroes. 20k net worth on this Spectre. This is what happens when you end up getting that Radiance up on that hero. Devastating to fight against. Really starting to fall now. EXP and net worth graph very, very heavily into the favor of Root. At the same time, we do have Derp having to push on out both of these other lanes. So they are going to be able to get both of the barracks, but at the same time, they're not able to push for more because the rest of them aren't pushed in. And Tier 1 tower is still standing in the top lane. So, alright, Cloud9 still in a comfortable position. Over these next couple of minutes until we have the next Roshan, I feel like what we're probably going to be seeing is gradually Root just trying to take over the rest of this map. You take a look at the wards, though, and the vision really is not there for Root. They need to get a smoke on out to be able to place down the wards. And meanwhile, for Cloud9, I mean, you take a look at it, they've got pretty great vision, especially considering they're behind right now. You want these wards to be defensive, so I think this is perfectly fine where they're placed at. Alright, Lina. Blink Dagger up, as we talked about earlier. Aghanim Scepter, BKB, and the Yule's Scepter. Tusk still sitting pretty poor. MSS hasn't really been able to get much further in terms of his item progression. No buybacks were used in that last fight, but the only person that has it currently is the Broodmother as well. And with those illusions on out, it looks like they were trying to see what they could do to maybe find a fight there. Oh, this could be a problem. Do get the Fiend's Grip before the crush. Slardar is going to end up going down. This is not the engagement that you want. We're going in yet again. Derp's going to end up falling here, I do believe, in a second. Maybe. No, still staying alive. Tusk is the one that falls instead. And chasing now after MSS. He's going to have to drop on down one of those nets and move away. But, oh, Eul Scepter ends up connecting. Brax doesn't want to go for this one. Realizing the inherent danger of his situation is going to blink away. Fight recap. Another win for Root Gaming, 11-35. You took a look at the odds before this game, very, very heavily favored into Cloud9. And Root has just been able to come on in with this relatively new roster. MSS is going to end up getting caught again. Look at the Force Staff as well. Oh, he might not be able to have enough, though. No Shiva's Guard now, but the Bane comes in, is going to be able to lay down the Echo Slam after the Orchid finishes, and Earthshaker picks off the Broodmother. It's so hard to deal with the Earthshaker once he's been able to get this type of farm. And again, this all harkens back to that early play there. You know, I was confused and not entirely sure about the Earthshaker play, but when he did end up going into that offlane position, all of a sudden it made a little bit more sense. You get those Aftershock levels up. You make sure that he's going to be able to sustain and lead against the Brood, and then afterwards you just shove him on over there. He does whatever the heck he wants and is able to keep the Brood off the tower. That really shuts down the farm that you're going to be able to have. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there. I think that, I don't know if they can get this kill. The heart is up. They're dropping everything, the Manta style, and he's just going to walk away. Oh, Spectre, 2 farmed right now, doesn't have a haunt, but is going to be able to run on into the forest. Is he actually going to be able to get out of this one? They're expending so much, and Chuan comes in. Oh, they do get the kill finally, but not after losing the Lina. They dropped absolutely everything on him, and at the end they weren't able to completely get him cleanly. They lost one. Might lose Chuan for it as well, though. Does end up hitting the fissure. Oh, Force Staff in 2 seconds. He does also have those Boots of Travel. Glimmer Cape away. Nicely done there. He's going to be able to make his way out of there. And with Sand King coming on in as well, he's going to make sure he's fine. In the meantime, the Queen of Pain pushing on down this bottom lane. Like, it's a big win for them, but the fact that they had to use all of those abilities really shows how dangerous this is. Does turn around, and with the Echo Shell coming on out, looks like this Quap is going to be able to run on out of here. Very nicely done. The Crystallis is going to be coming out in a second from the Ember Spirit. He's actually been able to, with that last kill on the Ember, or on the Spectre, really help out his team a lot. Spectre, worth noting, does have buyback currently, as well as Heart, Manta, Radiance, and Diffblade. Very comfortable where he's at. And I think that at this point, the next fight that they end up taking, maybe once this Roshan is respawned yet again, is going to be the determining factor, because you're going to be able to have initiation right on in. I think that they take the Roche fight. I think that Root are going to be able to win that one. I was looking for the Brood. Not going to be there this time around. The Brood has really been having to force back into her own jungle. Like, it's too scary to be able to go anywhere else, honestly. But what I'm mentioning about this is that if you do get the Aegis up on the Spectre, obviously the first life you go through, it's going to take forever for them to be able to take you down. And then after the fact, you're coming back with the Aegis. And then after that, again, you've got the buyback with the Haunt back in. 3 lives on that hero. Oh, Slardar, we knew you well. Does end up falling 1437. Just going to die to the Orchid burn. Root looking very, very solid. Net worth hovering towards that 20k mark. EXP 2500. I'm really, really impressed with Root's gameplay here. And Cloud9 doing everything that they possibly can to stay in this game. They're going to push on out all of the lanes, try and take objectives wherever possible, make sure that the Broodmother is doing her things. My question is it going to be enough? And it's starting to feel like it might not be. This lane's going to get pushed out yet again. The plus side is that obviously for Cloud9, Root is going to have to come back and defend this. You have to respect the Broodmother. You can't just leave this lane alone. And here come the TPs on back, playing this very, very safe, controlled Dota. Do end up hitting onto the Ember Spirit. He is going to be able to BKB away from that one, and with the Haunt already used, oh, never mind, Reality forward. But Ember was in the fountain. You don't want a Reality into that. There's the TP on out. So Haunt used now. A little bit of a gift come in the way of Cloud9. It does mean that the Roshan's going to be a little bit more difficult for Root to take. So maybe the makings of a comeback, potentially. It's a bit of a long shot, but certainly not unheard of. Let's take a look at a few items, see if there's any new progression coming out here. Slaughter still not quite able to get into his BKB. Broodmother, the Orchid, the BKB, the Vlads, as well as the Midas. Oh, lose a courier. Not the biggest deal in the world, but certainly not what you want to have happen. Ember Spirit, Crystallis, Battle Fury, Manta Style. Bane is just living in the Roche pit now. And that's actually the Daedalus finished off as well for the Ember. Lena, the Aghanim Scepter, as well as the Yules and Tusk, still not a whole heck of a lot. I will mention that the Lotus Orb being picked up by Derp Derp is pretty huge. Of course, Spectre just continuing to be this ridiculous farm monster. Earthshaker in the Roche pit now. Let's have Force travels as well as the Shivas. Queen of Pain working towards that refresher, almost there. Really wants to be able to finish that one off, but at the same time, you kind of got to save for buyback. At this point, I feel like Cloud9 know what's going on. They realize that Roche is probably being taken. It was a middle-of-the-road Roshan timer, and now they're just going to push on out this top lane and hope to be able to draw their attention elsewhere. Maybe get a little bit more farm on these heroes as well. Finish off the key items, farm for buyback. They are getting close on the Ember Spirit. Well, not too close. Maybe with the split push, they're going to be able to keep them off of the towers until the buyback comes around. That's kind of their only hope at this point, I think. So if they keep these lanes pushed out, right now you're going to have to send Root back to deal with the top lane, as well as deal with, well, not really the mid lane because it's continuously pushing. Really, the top lane is going to be the key thing. And that's going to mean that Ember is going to be able to farm on up his buyback, hopefully. Only 648 gold away from finishing that off and playing so safe right now. This is really, really smart by him, not even wanting to go on down there and last hit the creeps in lane. Just slide a fist over and call it good. So this is going to keep Root stuck up in their base for a second at least. Testing the waters. 1437 getting a little bit antsy. Oh, Queen of Pain. Oh, might be able to find the spider here. There's the Shiva's Guard pop. BKB as well, though. Need to get out of there. Thankfully, ends up killing that little creep off, but I think that the Queen of Pain's going to be able to right-click her down. So the spider did good things there. You were able to take on out the individual creep that was getting TP'd in on by, I believe, the Earthshaker, which would have been the kill, but particularly with the gem, but still wasn't able to get out of there just because can't really man-fight the Queen of Pain at this point, and looks like Quap is going to content herself with the refresher. After that kill on the Brood, she should be able to farm on a buyback before this next big team fight, and looking to want to go down for the tier 2 tower here, probably into the tier 3 after the fact. Pushing in all of these lanes, playing it absolutely safe, very disciplined Dota right now.
Worthy tribute.
Chuan does have cheese. Always good to have. Well, the Spectre just continuing to run around here rampant. 5,000 gold in the bank. Can kind of go for whatever you want, but with no courier for another couple seconds, it's become a little bit more difficult. Oh, there's the Fiend's Grip, as well as the Earthshaker coming on in. Easy as pie. SVG ends up going down the Tusk. That's a pickoff. That is very comfortable moving on in for the high ground. Again, this bottom lane is pushing, but at this point, I don't know if they really care. They might be comfortable just moving forward with this one. Slardar, in the meantime, was going on in for another jump stun, but wasn't able to make it happen. The Illusion's chasing after the Ember Spirit here now. They're going to be ready to push on down this tier 2 tower. Soon after, with the Aegis up, like, how do you fight into this? The heart is just so much regen. You're always going to be ready to go on into another fight. Destroys the tower. Maybe going to be able to catch onto the Ember Spirit. He does get Diff Blade on up. Manta Style is up as well as the BKB. Global Silence comes down after the fact, and there's the Manta Style off. So plays and counter plays abound. Slaughter isn't going to be able to have a stun for a second. Bottom lane getting pushed in again by this Broodmother. But at some point in time, you got to deal with the pink elephant in the room. How do you fight against this Spectre? It's sort of, it's coming. You know, Spec is coming. He's going to TP back, ready to haunt in for the fight whenever they want it. And after the lane gets pushed out, that's probably what we're going to see. The other thing here, I guess, is that Spectre doesn't necessarily want to go in without a Manta Style. Because if you do end up getting some type of stun, some type of silence coming out, particularly an Orchid from the Broodmother, that's a point where you get a little bit more vulnerable. Oh god, Basher is going to be the item as well. This is petrifying. I really think another item that would be pretty helpful might be the Butterfly. The reason that I think the Basher is pretty good, obviously, you're going to be able to build this into Abyssal as well. And how much actually net worth above does she have? She's getting close to Abyssal, so they might wait until Abyssal. But there's a couple of things. One, you get a little bit more HP from it. Great with dispersion. And while there is a lot of damage that can be dealt, and the fact that Butterfly is sometimes another item that's picked up. Oh, wait, hold that thought. Haunt coming on in. They're going to be able to chase on after here. Diff Blade down on top of the Slardar. He's going to end up falling. Another reality forward onto Brax. Not going to be able to get him. And Slardar actually didn't die either. He's going to actually be able to TP out of here. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. 1437. 007 is really what his name should be. Very nicely done. Just getting on out of there. Like it ain't no thing. So Haunt committed for that one. A little bit of a slip-up in what has otherwise been a very clean game by Root. But back to what I was mentioning there. If you consider what the Spectre has, some people might be wanting to go for a Butterfly at this point in time in the game. Now, while I do think that that's a pretty good pickup, the problem that you're going to end up dealing with is that you don't have a lot of the damage from Cloud9 right now is coming out from the cleave of the Ember Spirit, as well as the Laguna Blade from the Lina. Also, of course, the right click and everything else that comes out from there. But I think the majority of it, the Laguna Blade, oh god, Brax is going to end up falling yet again. Another right click, and he is just torn apart. Light Strike right hits, but to what point? So the Basher, you get a little bit more damage, or a little bit more HP out of it. You also get another huge team fight. MSS is going to fall. Lotus Orb on top of the Snowball. That's what I'm talking about. Bane going to be able to stay alive here. A Glimmer Cape up by SVG. They might be able to turn this one back around. We do end up hitting another Nightmare. He's going to fall. Orchid, everything down. I don't even think I need to talk about Butterfly anymore. This game might be pretty close to over here. The main point I'm going to say is that the Basher you're able to build into Abyssal. It's huge for being able to lock down the Ember Spirit. The other key component is that it's going to give you a little bit more HP. 20k net worth lead, EXP roughly the same. There's the Abyssal finished off. Doesn't even need it. The Aegis did expire, but with the Heart, this is still going to be really hard to kill. Also has buyback on the Spectre. BKB is out as well, but there's the Global Silence, keeping him alive. It does look like Bane's going to be able to get Force-Staffed out and stay alive through that one. Very nicely done by him. Another jump forward. Brax is going to fall in just a second. Lots of damage being dealt out by Ritu, but there's the Haunt back in. Refresher up on the Queen of Pain. Spectre kills the Slardar. Soon to fall is going to be MSS, and last but not least, good old Mr. Ember. Triple kill for the Spectre to win that game, and Root Gaming take game one in this best of three. Thank you all very much for watching and for putting up with the FPS issues. I'm going to try my very best to fix those in the next round, and we'll be back in just a second with game two. that little fake out just a second ago. We ended up having to run into a few technical difficulties. One of the broadcasters didn't end up loading on into the slot, so we kicked them out. Now it was fine. We figured it out. It was fine. So we're moving on into this one. Game 2 of Cloud9 up against Root Gaming in the upper bracket of the Summit 4 North American qualifiers. Looking to be a really good one. Last time, spoiler alert, if you didn't know about it, Root Gaming ended up taking it with a really interesting draft. I was very concerned about how well they were going to end up doing. They ran a Spectre and a Bane and a Silencer in the top lane up against a tri-lane of Broodmother, Tusk, and Slardar. And it was just this lineup that to me looked so petrifying. But they were able to get away from the early stages of it, and they had an Earthshaker in the off lane, just minding his own business, doing Earthshaker things. And then he ended up, after he got level 6, rotating on up into the top lane, taking over, and Spectre moved bottom. And they were able to create enough space for the Spec to get Radiance. And essentially from there, the game was pretty much won consistently, and a lot of really good matchups. I think that overall it's been somewhat surprising. As you guys may have seen the odds there at the beginning, people were really thinking that Root wasn't going to be able to do this coming on into this game, but have shown their stuff very much here. And I think part of the reason for that, I mentioned this in the last draft, is because Root has had a whole lot of players rotating through their lineup, consistently trying to find the little pieces that are going to work together. And I think that with this lineup, they've really started to gel together a little bit more, at least in that last game they did. And maybe it was just by virtue of the draft being really good. But overall, to me, it felt like they were covering each other's backs consistently. They were able to make correct plays, good calls across the board. And it wasn't necessarily that Cloud9 was playing bad by any means. It was just that I felt like Root were very much in charge of that game because they knew what they wanted to accomplish and were able to make that happen. As I mentioned, 22 players since February is what we've seen for Root, and looking like we're going to have a very different game this time around. Shadow Fiend is going to be banned out, as is the Doom, followed by the Silencer and the Ember Spirit. This is going to leave open the Dark Seer for Cloud9 to take, followed up by the Queen of Pain, Winter Wyvern, into an Anti-Mage. So Anti-Mage games, a hero that I think Ritsu feels very comfortable on in terms of his ability to outfarm the opponents, as long as he gets out to a pretty good start there relatively early. Sorry, I just had to pick up my little binder full of notes here as well. Another thing to keep an eye out for in this little lineup here is that with the Winter Wyvern already picked up by Root Gaming, we might end up seeing that Ancient Apparition, Venomancer combo if Root don't end up banning that out. The thing that's really interesting about that combination is that if you take it in the second phase, it's a little bit difficult to break up, because you want to be able to either ban out that combination of heroes or just put yourself in a position where you can counter it. It's really hard to counter it. Not a lot of the defensive supports really work. The best counter that I think is just being able to build up magical damage resistance. And so it's sort of a situation where you need to be able to ban that out early, or just sort of deal with it throughout the course of the game. And neither option is particularly great. And if you don't ban it out, you can't really... if they pick up an Ancient Apparition, take a Venomancer. If they take a Venomancer, pick up an Ancient Apparition. It doesn't work with every single lineup that you end up building. So it really is not only a difficult combo to deal with in game, but also in terms of sort of draft theory, how do you plan for this except by banning out one of those heroes early?
Reserve time.
Slardar is going to be banned out this time around, as is the Dazzle, not wanting to give that Anti-Mage any extra benefits that he could potentially have. With the Winter Wyvern already picked up, though, by Root Gaming, it does sort of mean that your offensive potential isn't going to be as high as it could be in other ways. So, I don't know. We will see. I think that if you wanted to, oftentimes the answer to Anti-Mage is to just run at him with an aggressive tri-lane. And if you try and do that, while it can work with a Winter Wyvern, it feels like the sustain is there, but maybe not the ability to pressure super hard. So TA is also going to be banned out now, giving away the potential for that combo. Well, I guess with the Venomancer or with the Winter Wyvern already picked up, it's probably not going to be a Venomancer A. So I talked about that forever, and yeah, they're definitely not going to be going for that here, I would imagine, unless they surprise me yet again and make me look like a fool, which has been known to happen from time to time. These players know a heck of a lot more about Dota than I do. So Root now with a very open draft. I do also want to mention that I think part of the reason you saw that Winter Wyvern picked up there is because with the Darkseer, um, obviously you want to be able to not give them that combination of the vacuum into wall, into Winter's Curse, into just death, despair, and all other words that start with the letter D. Bane also going to be picked up now. Another great hero. He did a good amount of harassment in lane, as well as had a big impact in the mid game, being able to find those very elusive heroes. And a little bit surprised to not see him banned out. A little bit more afraid of the Spirit Breaker Cloud9R, and decided to take him out of the pool. But Bane certainly showed himself to be very strong in that last game, and was consistently able to find those pickoffs that they wanted. Rubik now another great option. A whole lot of great spells to steal. Any one of these heroes has a number of spells that, obviously Winter's Curse and Sonic Wave, but also Blink. You've got pretty much all of Bane's kit except for maybe Amplified Damage is not really the greatest, or not Amplified Damage, excuse me, Enfeeble. So we'll see. We will see indeed. As for the next lineup here, Root are still looking for their safe lane and their off lane based upon what we're seeing so far. Of course, Queen of Pain can get played in any of those lanes. She's the type of hero that is just so versatile, largely because of that Shadow Strike, I think, at level 1, or potentially if you take Blink at level 1 too. It depends on what you want to do, but the fact that that skill being kept at level 1 is still so effective at being able to harass the enemy opponents. You're always going to be able to trade effectively, and she's going to be relevant at every stage of the game. Early game, just with the amount of right-click damage that she deals with that Null Tally, and usually the 2 Ironwood branches that you end up seeing dependent upon the matchup. And then as you move into the sort of laning stage, the Shadow Strike becomes really important. Around that level 7 or 8, you're going to be dealing more damage based upon your level than pretty much anybody else in the game, with the exception of potentially the Lina, but hers is going to be the Queen of Pain, that is, in an AoE, and able to be a big team fight contributor. And with the Beastmaster here as well, probably going to be played in this offlane role, we could probably see a decent sort of timing push strategy-esque thing. With Winter Wyvern and Bane, it's a little bit quirky. Maybe more pickoffs is what we're looking for here. I think that's probably more likely now that I started talking about the other way. Because if you take a look at the lineup, Queen of Pain really great at being able to clear on out waves. Winter Wyvern as well with that Splinter Blast. You end up getting it's a 7-second cooldown, max level 340 damage, which means that you're going to be one-shotting range creeps. And then Beastmaster as well, usually picking up those Necronomicons and skilling it up to level 3 early. That's a lot of split push. And on top of that, sometimes instead you end up going for a Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster first, and then you can jump forward, roar on top of somebody, and then pick them off. And with the Anti-Mage as well, that's a great disable for being able to really punish that pick there. And it looks to me like what Root Gaming is going to be doing is, instead of trying to punish Anti-Mage in the early laning stage, trying to punish him with smoke ganks on through the jungle and pick-offs by virtue of the Bane and the Beastmaster. To counter this, Cloud9 are going to be going for a Lich, a hero that is a good part of any... Well, it's interesting. This is going to be sort of a split pushy versus split pushy lineup, and I think the Lich here mainly just to try and shut down whoever the enemy offlaner is, or the enemy safe laner is, because... Well, actually, no. I don't think it's going to be a dual offlane of Darkseer Lich. It could be. That'd be very strange. Huh. Okay, I guess trying to shut down the Beastmaster's farm. The thing that I was going to say is maybe if you end up shutting down the safe lane farm of Root a little bit more intensively, you're going to make sure that your Anti-Mage is ahead relative to them because of the way that Sacrifice works. But I don't know. It's a little bit clunky here. I guess that they don't want to get Beastmaster off to a good start. Deny him out experience whenever he wants. And there we go. Root Gaming taking a last pick Huskar. Oh, it's dirty. It's really, really dirty. Anti-Mage pretty good against him, but these other heroes, oh man. And actually, honestly, Anti-Mage, until he ends up getting Mantis Style, isn't going to be great against Huskar. God, that is a frustrating last pick to go against. Brood is still in the pool now. But they can't really do that because they need a mid lane hero. Banning out the Wind Ranger also really great decision. All of that physical damage coming out. They didn't end up going for the Dazzle themselves, but they do go for the last pick Huskar. Ancient Apparition still in the pool, but you can't really run him as a core. Safe lane hero that deals well with Huskar. PL is in the pool? That wouldn't be terrible. Oh wait, no, not safe lane, mid lane. What am I talking about? Lina is there as well. I think that would be decent, but again, you're sort of running into a situation where you need to get Aghanim Scepter up, and by the time you get Aghanim Scepter up, Huskar is going to be in a very comfortable position. Huh. This is a tough one. They really need to be able to find something here that's going to be able to have some form of physical damage or some form of pure damage to deal with this Huskar, because as it stands, this could be really difficult to deal with. And the other thing now as well is that with this Huskar pick, all of a sudden you change from what could have been a split pushy pick-off lineup with Beastmaster Bane to just get up in your face and start tearing you apart. The draft from Root was very versatile. And Cloud9, 10 seconds left to choose a hero, and I don't know, it's a tough one. There's several different ways that you could go for it, but having the Queen of Pain already out of the pool, as well as the Lina, the Wind Ranger gone also, they're going to go for a Death Prophet. Don't call it a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. Brack's going to be playing DP. Not a hero that you often see. Rhymin' like it ain't no thing, E. Alright, well, let's get ready to hop on into this game. Obviously, physical damage there, but the other problem here is that they don't have, like, any stuns. Oh, God, it's dirty. It's dirty, dirty, dirty. Man, this is going to be really very difficult to deal with. Oh, man. I think that the best chance that they have is to try and just take the Huskar out of the fight whenever they can. Honestly, a Brewmaster there might have been a decent option just to, like, lift him up and keep him out of the fight until you can deal with him at the end. Because right now, I don't know. The silence might be okay to some extent, keep him from healing. But it's a tough one, so let's take rid of that. Let's get rid of that little overlay right there. It's going to haunt me until the day that I die. All right. Cloud9 fighting for their upper bracket life. Of course, whoever ends up losing the series isn't necessarily out of this tournament, but they do have to go down to face the winner of Elite Wolves versus Pain Gaming. Let's do a quick little introduction for the players. We got Brax here, who's going to be playing on the DP. Off to the side, SVG on the Rubik. We do also have Ritsu, who's going to be playing his Anti-Mage, 1437 on the Lich, and MSS playing on the Darkseer. For Root Gaming, Stan King is going to find the Darkseer, moving on through the jungle. No big deal at all, though. He's going to be playing the Bane. We also have Derp Derp on the Winter Wyvern. Kahura is going to be playing the Huskar. This was the mid player last time, but I think that we're going to be seeing GEZ explicit on the Queen of Pain this time. And last but not least, Chuan's going to be playing that Beastmaster. Okay, so ready for this game. Game 2 here. Last time I felt like I favored Cloud9's draft a little bit more. This time around, I'm a little bit more favored towards what Root is bringing to the table. It does look like they are going to be sending the Anti-Mage down into the bottom lane this time around, giving him the rune. Looks like they are going to run into the Huskar this time around, though, and hopefully the plan now is to shut down this Huskar in the early game, if at all possible. But this is going to be, well, okay, no, they're actually just heading on over here. So the Anti-Mage gets the one rune, the Queen of Pain gets the other, and actually looks like we're going to be seeing an AM mid. So wanting to dodge the Huskar, AM up against Queen of Pain mid. Oh man, this is going to be interesting. Dual mid with the Winter Wyvern and the Lich in lane here as well. It's about the best that you could hope for, honestly. Any of the other lanes are just going to be garbage, but he's going to take a ton of harassment here. Doesn't skill up anything so far, and with all of those right clicks coming out from the Winter Wyvern, it's going to be very deadly dealing with this. And this is going to give Huskar a lot in lane as well. He's going to be really, really comfortable here. Top lane, the Beastmaster should at least be able to get levels. Does have the sickest of Mohawks as well. Still no skills skilled at this point for the anti-mage, wanting to make sure he saves onto a blink if he definitely needs to get out of there. But of course the other problem that you're going to be running into here is that Spell Shield isn't going to be able to do a lot. Last hits denies, Queen of Pain sitting at top 6 and 1, Huskar next. But with the creep wave pushing in, this AM should be able to get all of these ones as well. So a little bit even now, back and forth we go. MSS off lane, pretty good. Does have the Mango as well. And Schwan on the Beastmaster doing his thing. Well, back in the mid lane yet again. I'd be surprised to see a kill here early, to be honest with you, but I do think that what you're going to end up getting is... well, maybe they can get a kill. It's tough. I think that the Queen of Pain needs to hit level 4 before she's going to be able to get a kill. 2 levels in that Scream, as well as 1 in the Dagger, or the other way around. Either one is going to be pretty solid. Lich is going to come on over, make sure that his Darkseer is able to get out of there. We do get some very nice rune control coming out from Cloud9, recognizing the importance of shutting that down for the Queen of Pain. She wants to stay in lane, but also wants to be able to get those runes. The bottle is only just now going to be coming out for her, with the Lich denying out those creeps. Rubik back on the other side now. SVG has an angle on this Beastmaster. But I feel like if Brax moves forward too far, alright, they do end up catching him now. One more Crypt Swarm, just a little bit of harassment. Head on off on your way, little buddy. And SVG, after getting that Invis rune, I think that probably the Beastmaster knew that was going on. More harassment back and forth. Brain Sap is such a great spill for being able to trade hits. And with no boots advantage at this point in time, looks like they're going to be fine. Very sorry about that one. Beastmaster ended up getting the kill on the Death Prophet with the rotation from Derp Derp. Let's take a look at that fight recap. No spells expended, apparently, but it definitely was a Wild Axes as well as the Boar Slow being able to get it done. This means that you can be a little bit more aggressive in the mid lane. Bottom lane yet again, do they have any way to kill this Darkseer? Doesn't look like it. And feeling comfortable in the laning stage so far. Now that the Queen of Pain's been able to get... okay, so she's going for 2 points in Shadow Strike. This is going to mean the Anti-Mage is going to have to be really, really careful. But this Lich sitting here is just going to be ineffectual to a certain extent. They really need to secure any kind of farm that they can for this AM. It's about the best that you could hope for. Honestly, he's been getting 18 and 2 so far. So doing a pretty good job. I was expecting it to go a lot worse, but he's showing off the ability to do the mid lane Anti-Mage. The question that I have is, once you get this level advantage up on the Queen of Pain, I guess they're not going to get as big of a level advantage either, because the Lich is continuing to deny out those creeps. Eventually, though, this Queen of Pain is going to hit level 6, and that's going to be the turning point. Jump Forward is going to be able to catch a little bit of right clicks, and almost killed her. With the mana being drained away at the last second, you need to be careful as this Queen of Pain. That's the danger of the mid Anti-Mage. Soul Ring now picked up on the Darkseer. It's ready to keep on spamming out the stuff. They're going up high now, trying to take on out this DP. The Boar Slows abound. Another Wild Axes, maybe 1 or 2 more right clicks could be enough. They're going to send the Boars on in after. Crypt Swarm, as well as one last right click from the Rubik, is going to finish that one off. So DP lives for now. After the salve, Brax is going to head back into the mid lane. Or, sorry, top lane. I'm so used to DP seeing there. Alright, 1437, continuing his Baby City duties. This is like 4 Protect 1 to the fullest right now. You've got Ice Armor leveled on up consistently by the Lich, as well as Sacrifice, ensuring whatever you can for this Anti-Mage. I actually really like this response. Like, they took a long time to figure out their draft and what they wanted to run with it, but the answer that they've come up with on Cloud9 is very impressive. I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. Trying to get as many right clicks as you possibly can on this Queen of Pain, but it's definitely tough. Now the rotation stacks are going to be happening. No, they're just going to try and see if they can potentially kill this Quap here. She's relatively low on mana. Do we have anything up top? No, they're just going to keep eyes on this area, but realizing the inherent danger of the situation, we did have this very nice ward here by the Queen of Pain, making sure that they're going to know what's going on. Bane is in the area as well to provide a little bit of assistance. I think that they're going to be okay here. Actually, just going to drop down a deep ward. That's really good. Because now you can see if any ganks do come in. Like, there's just everything about this draft right now from Cloud9 is built around keeping Ritsu alive and making sure he gets the farm that he needs. And, like, they're also able to deny out a lot to this Queen of Pain. Take a look at the levels right now. She's level 5 as a mid laner at just about 6 minutes. So should be able to hit level 6 relatively soon. But you would kind of expect to have a little bit more than this, I feel like, on the Queen of Pain. Net worth. The anti-mage is sitting up top with the ring of health there as well. More heroes just moving around. Let's take a look at what the actual net worth is. Root actually ahead because they're taking those other 2 lanes relatively convincingly with the Lich not being there. Like, basically this Huskar has been doing whatever he wants, and he's going to be getting a really, really great armlet timing. Sorry about that. Darkseer dropping low here. Mid lane, they're going to be giving it back over to the anti-mage. They should realize that the Quap is gone, but now coming back in. Still not quite level 6. Top lane pushed in a little bit as well. Brax is doing what he's doing. Level 6, but not skilling the ulti. Bane's back to mess with Darkseer's day yet again. There's the jump forward. Is going to be able to catch onto the Beastmaster. The Rubik lift doing work in conjunction with the Crypt Swarm already at level 3. And it looks like Sand King wants to be able to make something happen here, but not quite going to be there in time. So Cloud9 fight back. 500 gold swing into their favor. 300 EXP. The battle of positioning, the battle of farm, the battle of who is going to be the more safe hero and who is going to be the more safe team, who is going to make sure that they secure that late game. And you kind of wonder at what point is Huskar going to start turning around and just tearing fools apart. I think that that point might be coming relatively soon here. Of course, the interaction that I'm very curious to see how it ends up working out is if Huskar is going to be able to get a life break before or after a blink away by this anti-mage. That's going to be a key component to how a gank ends up coming around, or even just a straight up battle in the team fight. It's worth noting as well, as far as the off lane goes, Beastmaster level 6, Darkseer level 6 as well. So they're both getting the levels that they need. Roar is going to be up as well. We'll see how this goes. Depending upon what rune this is, you know, with level 6 up on the Queen of Pain, just a bounty rune. Oh, can potentially take out this Lich. Is going to be able to eat that ward. So nicely done there. Sleep does end up going down. Ritsu protecting his support. Look at that. A little bit of a bromance coming out there. But he is so squishy right now. 720 HP currently. Huskar doing his thing. And the Darkseer moving back on into the lane as well. He's going to be going for a quick mechanism. Kind of an interesting pickup there. I guess another just one of those items to... The reason I find it interesting is because when you play a Darkseer, obviously Mechanism, a great item to be able to pick up for him. But given this lineup that you're seeing out of Cloud9, I don't expect them to want to try and fight. Maybe this is to turn around a gank into their favor if we do end up seeing one come out from this Beastmaster, who does look to be going for treads next, maybe. I don't think this is going to be Brown Boots immediately into Necronomicon, but I have been wrong before. So tough to tell. He's going to be able to scream away 2 of those last hits and just move on for the 3rd one as well. Always good to see such efficiency out of the Queen of Pain. All right, top lane again. Looking to see if they can find Brax here. Has taken a point in Exorcism now. So a good amount of spirits are ready to be ignited, pushed on out towards this bottom lane, which hasn't taken any damage. The top tower for the Dire has taken a little bit, but consistently being pushed out of lane, and now they're going to try and make a move on this Huskar. 2-player rotation, Rubik as well as the Death Prophet. I think that they're going to be okay here. We have a couple of TPs that can come in relatively quickly. Oh, now the Bane coming in the backside. He might be able to reveal this smoke, and they might opt to go for him instead of the Huskar. Huskar should realize it's coming out. Oh, and this is immediately going to reveal what's going on. And back the hell away for a second. We don't want to run into that one. Huskar is going to make his way out of there. This does realize that they're going to be able to push on down the top tower now. So they get the kill on the Bane. Huskar is going to vacate the area. Probably going to be able to get the tier 1 tower bottom, I would imagine. Maybe they come and try and hold this one here. A lot of creeps in the area. They do end up fortifying for this. The Exorcism was popped a little bit early. There's the lift forward. Lots of physical damage soon to follow. Do we get the Cold Embrace? No! Huskar ends up dying there. Winter Wyvern get the kill on the Death Prophet, though. In the turnaround, yet again, going to be able to kill the Queen of Pain. Or, excuse me, the Queen of Pain able to kill the Darkseer. He actually did die to the creeps, and looking like they want to go for a little bit more here with the Rubik, but not going to be able to make it happen. At the end of the day, a lot of gold going back the direction of Root, but they did lose their Huskar. Not what you want to have happen completely. And Levels, of course, continuing to show the story of how I feel like Root here has been able to be a little bit more efficient with their farming to some extent, but Cloud9's starting to take it back into their advantage. Oh, Stan King, you're going to end up getting caught up here. There is the Chain Frost. Couple of lucky bounces, but it wouldn't have mattered anyways. 4-hero mid, you are going to die. So, changing up their fight a little bit. 4 heroes in, on top of a tower. I was expecting more of the split push game, but probably that's what's going to happen later on. Right now, I think that their 4-man is still pretty good until you end up getting a Winter Wyvern. Well, Winter Wyvern does have level 7 now. So maybe they can defend against these really aggressive pushes and the ulti coming out from the Death Prophet. Mask of Death now finished on the Huskar. We haven't seen a roar this game. Did see our first Sonic Wave. All right, clicks. They are going to be able to spot out the Rubik here. The Vision game that we've been talking about on occasion is a little bit more into the favor, actually very much into the favor of Cloud9. Look at that Vision. That is very impressive. Oh, mid lane going to be able to jump forward onto Brax yet again. Just one Shadow Strike, maybe one more right click there. Winter's Curse expended. Another right click, and Lich is going to be able to assist in the kill there of the Death Prophet. That's pretty big. That's a momentum kill right there. Now Beastmaster as well does pop his little Eagle as well as the Boar. And it looks like that actually... Oh, that was stolen? Did Rubik really steal that? Where are you at, Rubik? Okay, so he stole the Boar. Probably wanted to be able to get the Hawk. That's a pretty good spell to steal as well. Well, Kahuru is going to end up being able to take on down this bot. Oh, the Ion Shell. All right, Winter Wyvern gets a killing spree. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted there for a second. Not often that you see that. Don't worry, nobody saw. We do end up getting SVG get taken out there. The Ion Shell a little bit too much for the Huskar and the Wild Axes. This should be enough to secure this tower. Fight recap. Nice little gold swing into the favor of Root. Okay. Again, Brax moving on down. Does have the first component of his Yules. They pass each other in the night. I think that Bane might have spotted that, but maybe the DP didn't. MSS closing in on that mechanism. Queen of Pain in the area as well. And they're looking very comfortable with the position that they've been able to build themselves into, despite that last little armlet toggle mess up by the Huskar. Alright, so DP does now have her Exorcism back up again. If they want to try and take another fight here, they can. Gonna kill the Ion Shell creep first this time around. It was a little bit tough. I think that with those creeps right up in his face, it just ended up being a little bit too much too quickly. Battle Fury gonna be finished here now as well by the Anti-Mage, right around 14 minutes by the time it gets delivered. Not as absolutely terrible timing. He's top of the net worth right now. It's been pretty good actually. Ice armor down as well. And the Huskar gonna have to back on out. Queen of Pain starting to work towards her Orchid as well. This is gonna be a kind of an interesting one, a bit like what happened in the last game, that eventually this item is going to become less and less useless. Obviously, it's still going to be good against the supports. It's going to be decent against the Rubik as well. Rubik is going to want to be going for something else like a Blink Dagger. Obviously, Arcane Boots already finished on top of him. But he doesn't want to go through or invest in any of those items to break the silence if he doesn't have to. And so because of that, that's going to be a situation where it's a little bit more worth it in the later stages of this game. But against the Anti-Mage, of course, once he gets that Manta up, which should be probably relatively soon after he's finished his Battle Fury, I would imagine maybe Vlad's first, just to get that extra lifesteal going. Maybe he's content with solely a Mask of Death. But Winter Wyvern continuing to keep these lanes pushed out. Level 8 right now is a factor. As I said, one-shotting those range creeps with the Splinter Blast. That lane is going to keep on getting pushed out. Huskar down here, continuing to build on up his net worth. 5,100 on him, despite the one death. Rubik now. 322 gold for a second there. Darkseer almost finishing off his mechanism. Let's see. Schwann Necronomicon, level 1 also up. So the split push can start to come now. Like, if you want to, on the Beastmaster, you can keep your vision game going. The Hawk did end up getting killed there, I believe, by the tower. But they're going to be able to deal out a lot of damage to this. And with the Cold Embrace on top of the creep as well, they stay around a little bit longer. Death Prophet can do a decent amount to push this back with the Crypt Swarm, but still, it's not the biggest thing. The big thing here is that Anti-Mage is going to be able to cut the creep wave a little bit and then head off over the side. Blink heroes chasing after each other. but not going to be able to find it. The tier 2 tower, though, falls really, really quickly here, and they're going to try and find the anti-mage. Not going to be able to get him. Wisely is going to be able to blink and TP away from that one. So chases abound. At the end of the day, Root's still in the lead, mainly by virtue of these towers they've been able to take for relatively free. Obviously, Cloud9's still ahead in terms of the EXP. The anti-mage is going to continue to farm like a champion, but they don't want to take a fight if they really don't have to. It looks like Vlad's is going to be the option. A turnaround here. Huskar does end up running into MSS. Needs to back away from here. No mana for the vacuum at this point in time. Is going to go back on into the wall. There's the purge away from the slow, but is going to end up dying nonetheless. And a little bit unfortunate. A couple of kills there that they really didn't want to end up have happen on the Huskar. Queen of Pain back over here as well. Fight recap. Looking like an 1100 gold swing. Wrapping around right now. Is this their opportunity? If they're able to catch a really good roar, oh, the wall is still down. You don't want to fight into this if you don't have to. The Courier scouting them out. The Hawk ends up getting a little bit of extra vision there. They do have a Winter's Curse back up if they want to use it. This is going to potentially be the skill that changes the game. There's the blink forward. The Anti-Mage is in the middle of all of them. Derp does end up jumping away yet again. With the Blink Dagger already finished on him, it looks like they're going to be content to just back out of here. What a freaking awkward engagement this has been. What the hell was that even? Nobody even auto-attacks each other. And they just back away. It's like everybody move away from each other slowly. They do have vision yet again. This is all going to be about the stacks. Cloud9 don't want to fight into this one. They just want to take the stacks for their anti-mage. Oh, man. All right, yeah, they're going to toss out another Wild Axes, and that's going to be able to take on down the Ancient stack. Now the Anti-Mage again, moving on through. He's going to be fine. Sorry about it again about any frame rate issues. Because of how quickly that game started, I wasn't able to take care of it, but I will endeavor to do so in this next little match. Oh, Winter's Curse ends up getting expended now. SVG is going to end up falling. There's a Sonic Wave down on top of it. Is Rubik really going to live? Needs one more right click. Is going to get it. That's a dead Rubik. Winter Wyvern ends up getting the kill. Oh, the Chain Frost not really going to be a ton. They end up getting a kill on the Winter Wyvern in return. Roar expended. That's a Darkseer going down at the end of it. Queen of Pain gets that kill. 2 for 1 at the end of the day. And in the meantime, they get the tower. But Ritsu, eyes on the prize, is just going to keep on farming away. Not afraid to make it happen. Fight recap, looking at it yet again. Well, relatively even trades across the board. The big thing right now, though, is that Root is going to be content to take Roshan on out. Aegis should fall pretty soon after this, with Beastmaster able to tank as well as his Boar, and the Huskar able to armlet toggle. This is definitely going to fall, and honestly, Root has just been looking very strong. To me, it seemed like they've had the answers both game. The first time, they were able to respond to the Broodmother. The second time, the Huskar pick, I feel like, is working out relatively well for them. Imagine how much better it would be looking if he didn't end up dying to that armlet toggle the one time. So let's see. Derp now is going to have his Blink Dagger on up. Looks like a Cold Embrace on top of the melee creep as well, keeping that pressured forward. Right clicking down this tower, and even though it does have that frost armor on top of it, they're going to be able to kill off these creeps relatively quickly here. But the cut of the creep wave, Anti-Mage doing his thing. This is somewhat countered by the Winter Wyvern yet again, though, because you're going to be able to keep and apply that pressure, and the tower does fall in the end. So they're not going to be able to go high ground with this, but they are at least going to be able to take another tower. Aegis on up to continuing to push this on out. It looks like Winter Wyvern is going to be pushing up the top lane while this is happening. Like, this is the plus side of Cloud9's draft, is that all of their heroes pretty much can keep the lanes pushed. You've got the Darkseer there who's going to be able to make it happen. Lich less so, but still to some extent. You know, you take a look at Frost Nova here. Frost Blast, excuse me. It's on an 8-second cooldown. That's not bad at all. Huskar does end up getting caught out here. The silence is down, as is the Exorcism. Going to be able to chase down after here. The Aegis ends up getting popped, but the rest of the team is in the area. Do they end up catching on out? Oh, Winter's Curse just on top of the Lich. Are going to be able to burst down that DP, though. Chain Frost coming in is going to start wrecking havoc, but gets soaked up a little bit by the Necronomicon creeps. Meanwhile, Darkseer are going to surge away, so they get 2 in the end, DP being the key contributor, with the Exorcism already used as well. 1,500 gold swing as well as 2,000 EXP. But the big point here is that they're going to be able to push on up into high ground. At the same time, Ritsu just trying to push on out the creep waves, as is the Rubik. Pretty good response here, but are they going to be able to be back and deal with the push in the mid lane? Does look like the Queen of Pain is going to be able to find the courier. One more right click should do it. 1,050 net worth on top of that. Oh man, and that was his Yasha. All right. Tier 3 tower falling. This is what they're going to have to work with the creep wave. Cold Embrace keeping him alive. The Crypt Swarm finally is going to take it out, but they still got Cardi the Catapult up in the middle of all of it. Do we see a huge vacuum wall on top of 3? Able to blink away, though, at the last second. Not going to get caught in that is the Queen of Pain. Still silenced up. This Huskar needs to stay alive. So far has been able to make it happen with the armlet toggle. Does end up using his wand charges as well. Plate mail there as well, so he's not going to be taking a ton of damage from all of these. Dodges the wall. He's the most sick of dodges. There's another Crypt Swarm out, but Berserker's Blood's pretty good. There's the jump in on top of the Death Prophet. Yule's Scepter up. Do they have enough to bring her down again? Doesn't look like it. She's going to be able to run away from there. Just a race car. MSS, meanwhile, is nightmared as well. You end up getting the mechanism popped on out. Another vacuum back on top of 3. They're relatively low, but the roar on top of 4. It looks like Winter's Curse as well. That's going to bring down Brax. He does end up getting off the suicide, though. Rubik denying him. Absolutely wonderfully played right there. And meanwhile, the Anti-Mage is going to end up falling. He goes down. Armlet toggle to victory. This could be the moment right now where Root Gaming takes a 2-0 over Cloud9 potentially. Do they have enough to keep this pressed on in? Buyback status, none on the Anti-Mage. 91 gold away from it. There's the Winter's Curse stolen. Turn back around. Is going to be able to kill with the Chain Frost, but MSS is falling low as well. Does he have enough to get taken out of there? No, is going to fall. Oh, man. Fiend's Grip stolen now as well by the Rubik. A couple of really big skills, and SVG, I think, just brought them back into the game with that. 800 gold swing into their favor. Really, really well played. The buyback did come out from the Darkseer in all of that engagement, and net worth-wise, the Huskar is starting to catch back up with an Anti-Mage, which is not something you ever want to have. Key thing, Blink Dagger up on the Rubik. He's been able to make this happen for them. I think that they've been brought back into this game by that play right there, honestly. The rest of it mattered as well, but with all of these towers down, net worth shooting up towards 12k, EXP as well. It's only a 3k lead, mainly because they haven't been able to take, well, they've only taken one tower, the one down in the bottom lane. So Root Gaming looking very, very strong right now. What are the items that we're going to be seeing come up? Derp, level 12, level 2, Winter's Curse ulti up, does have Soul Ring as well as the Blink Dagger, 3,800 gold on top of it. Huskar now, 1,900 gold. He did end up dying at the end of that last team fight, so lost a little bit there, but he is in a pretty comfortable spot himself. Necronomicon level 3, as well as the Medallion of Courage up on the Beastmaster. Roche Timer still a ways away before that's going to come on out. BKB now up on the Queen of Pain, wanting to secure this one. The Vlad's gets picked up by the Winter Wyvern. I think that's a pretty good option right there as well. Glimmer Cape and the Urn on the Bane. And meanwhile, for Cloud9, the support's a little bit broke as a joke. The Courier did end up dying as well. We'd love to be able to see a little bit more on this Darkseer potentially. He needs to be able to get another couple of items. Probably, I mean, but he's pretty far behind. You take a look here on the net worth tab. The support for the support for Root, the Winter Wyvern, ahead of the mid player for Cloud9. This is not the position you want to be in. Not to state the obvious, but it's pretty true. Well, top lane. AC is now going to be the item finished off by the Huskar. This means he's not going to have buyback. But the real question is, can they bring him down? They have shown that they've been able to. 4-man smoke on through. If they're paying attention, they might have noticed that the bird was there. That's going to be a Fiend's Grip from the Rubik on top of the Queen of Pain. Does end up getting nightmared on back yet again. She is going to fall, but they expended a lot for that one. Honestly, I think that that's worth it, but they can take this fight now. Rubik ends up getting torn apart. Bane getting the last hit there with the Brain Sap. They do have vision of this area yet again. I do believe there's the Winter's Curse down on top of the Death Prophet. Might have been a little bit preemptive. They don't have any follow-up to that. That fight recap, that was a pretty big gold swing in the favor of Cloud9, but after the fact, losing the Rubik is a little bit rough. They did end up using Winter's Curse now. I don't know. That might have been a little bit of a miscommunication, probably. Thinking the team was a little bit closer or willing to run forward onto that. Beastmaster doesn't have the Blink Dagger right now. And Ritsu doing everything that he can. He is going to be able to jump on out here. If there's a hero that could bring you back from this type of lead, it would be the Anti-Mage. Is going to get jumped on. A ton of damage being doled out with a quickness. He has 7 stacks on top of him, but with the Fountain Regen should be fine. Manta Style now going to be the item picked up for him as well. And Huskar going to be content to push on out this top lane. Winter Wyvern ulti back up in another couple of seconds here. Roshan still a couple of, about 30 seconds before it's even capable of responding. Bane's Fiend Grip, Chuan, Haste Rune as well. Vlad's, as I talked about on the Winter Wyvern. Do we have any other items for these other heroes? Already the Yules and Soul Booster now finished for the Death Prophet. Octarine is huge. That is a game changer on that hero. Blink Dagger, Force Staff being worked on by the Lich, I would assume. I don't think this is going to be Aghanim Scepter. Although I have been wrong before. Mechanism up. Maybe a chance for a jump forward. If he catches on to Ritsu here, not going to be able to do it. The Manta, the everything else, they're comfortable. Okay, so this is the play now. They're going to start taking over this jungle. They've got eyes all over the place here. We do have a Fiend's Grip up on the Bane, but they don't want to chase after Ritsu too far. With the creep wave on into the base, they're going to be comfortable pushing on up into high ground yet again. The rest of Cloud9 is very spread out right now. On the Darkseer, we do have a TP, but this is somebody, they want to be here right now. They're coming on back. DP is in the area. They're wrapping around from the other side, though. There's the Nightmare on top of the Lich. This could be disastrous. All right, the Exorcism coming on out. Bane is actually just going to get torn apart at the start of this team fight. But that does bait out the Exorcism. So 30-second cooldown before the Bane is going to be coming back. For the Death Prophet, 130 seconds on the ultimate. So that's the big difference. The fact that they were able to get that one out and used up, like, it's pretty huge. They didn't end up using Wall. Rubik doesn't have a spell to steal. Lich at this stage in the game is always going to be able to have everything that he wants, but Ritsu just going to keep on farming creeps whenever he can. Top lane pushed in yet again. Ritsu's not there. It's 4-on-4, but Bane can get there pretty quickly. They are just going to be able to keep on right-clicking down this tower. The slow chip damage over time, backdoor protection already taken care of. As long as this damage keeps on being applied here, they're going to be in a comfortable spot. Tier 3 is going to end up falling. Wall down. Huskar, stop hitting yourself. There's the vacuum on back, but after the lift, oh, a little bit of a miscommunication, and everything used. The Chain Frost doesn't even bounce. They do get the Scream of Pain instead of the Sonic Wave, and all of the sudden, oh, with the vacuum and the wall being used in conjunction with that lift, oh no, that's not what you want to have happen. Cloud9 looking like there's a little bit of miscommunication on who was what was supposed to do what, and sometimes that does happen in these types of matches. All right, Splinter Blast now going to keep it forward yet again in a position they don't want to be. They really don't want to lose this other lane of racks here, but it looks like they're going to have to. Doesn't get pushed back through the wall. Huskar just going to keep on getting right-clicked down on these barracks. Melee soon to fall as well. And what did Cloud9 do at this point? They do end up lifting him back to try and push him through the wall, but then it expires. Oh, God, everything. A mixture of bad luck as well as just really good play by Root and a bit of miscommunication might be spending the end to Cloud9. Oh no. Alright. Again, buyback going to be up on the Anti-Mage. Looks like he's going to be building a BKB, but what do you do at this point? They've been so far pushed back. Like, they want to be able to do the split push game, but they really can't. Buyback is up on every hero now. Net worth, the lead is still Anti-Mage. He's just been able to farm all over the map. Oh, man. Now the Queen of Pain maybe going to build into an Aghanim Scepter herself to make sure these lanes continue to push on out. Roshan responds. It's all coming up good. Like, the other thing there is that they went for a little bit of the riskier play by going for the high ground in the top lane, but then at the end of the day, they were still able to come on back, get Roshan. Nobody lost, just a lane of barracks. And, I mean, you take a look at net worth right now, 12k lead, EXP as well. Is a little bit more into the favor of Cloud9 just because of the way that they've been split pushing, but Roche falls very quickly. Huskar picks it on up. He's got his AC. He's got his Helm of the Dominator. He's got another item being brought out on the Courier as well. This is going to be a Satanic. Oh, Huskar, say it ain't so. He is going to be... This is 2 lives, essentially now. 3 lives, really, with the Satanic up. Oh, man. All right. The The turnaround on the other side. Lich is going to be over here. The Chain Frost into the vacuum wall, but it only ends up taking out one. The Beastmaster, that's a big hero to be able to get. The Winter's Curse down on top of Brax. He is going to end up falling. No, Eul's Scepter keeps him alive at the very end, but now maybe be able to have a turnaround. We do end up seeing the Darkseer fall. Huskar's coming online. He's going to start making you pay. Ulti out from the Death Prophet as well. The jump forward trying to catch the Queen of Pain. She gets away on almost nothing. And now the Bane ends up taking out the Death Prophet off to the side. They're spread apart. They're not where they want to be. Anti-Mage's the only hero left right now. Buyback by the Beastmaster. He's coming in. He's going to be at the bottom lane, though. It's going to take him a little while to get here. Rest of the buyback status. We do have them expended now. Death Prophet coming back on into it. But no buyback for anybody else right now on the Dire side. Oh, God. There's the jump forward. Derp derp. Is it gets silenced? It's going to be able to hit the Arctic Burn down on top of him. Anti-Mage coming in from behind. It's going to end up getting Nightmared. Fiend's Grip soon to follow. No, he has already expended it. But the eyes on the prize yet again. Melee Barracks about to fall. They're not going to be able to contest this Huskar. We do see the Anti-Mage jump forward to try and catch onto Derp Derp, but oh man, this is really not looking good. The Roar down isn't going to be able to connect completely, but still creating a lot of havoc in the area. Brax falls. Vacuum, wall, no wall used, but the Sonic Wave. There's the Satanic, though. Age is still not popped. Able to steal Arctic Burn. GG gets called, and Root Gaming 2-0 Cloud9 in a shocker. Drop down to the lower stages. They're going to have to face off against the winners of Elite Wolves up against Pain Gaming, and really, really surprising turn of events here. Stick around in just a second. We're going to be coming around with our second series of the day. We're going to be having a matchup between High Councils of Wizards and Priests versus Digital Chaos, and that's going to be in a little while. Thank you all very much for watching. Sorry again for any problems. Going to try and fix it before the next series. The stream might go offline. Don't picnic basket. We're going to be fine. So we'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Peace.